Hello there guys, Daniel Childs back here again. Hope you're doing really well on this Friday. The news stories today, wow, quite a bit to get into and not for a great reason. Chelsea being Chelsea in the transfer window once again, and Enzo Maresca referring to this January transfer window. Bear in mind, we're only the 17th of January, a disaster. So we're going to jump into that. Please do like, subscribe, let me know your thoughts on everything. So far in 2025, but obviously the things we're going to talk about today are quite big regarding Chelsea's January transfer business and how the squad's going to shape up for the rest of this season. Please do, if you want to get yourself one of the brilliant Alloy Collectors metal home shirts to cheer yourself up whilst things have not been going great for Chelsea, you can get the retro shirt, put Zola's name on the back, fully customizable, or this season's kit, even last season's kit, the goalkeeper kits. Go over to Alloy Collectors, great guys, football fans, officially licensed product, and you can get it for a 15% off discount using my code SonOfChelsea at checkout. So thank you for Alloy Collectors, and maybe you can put one up on your desk, your own studio. It's worth it. So link in the description box below. So yeah, I saw these reports and these rumours that Chelsea had some interest in Garnacho from Manchester United, and I kind of dismissed them and I thought there's probably not much to that. But then we get the classic Ornstein dagger. I should know better at this point. The Ornstein dagger that brings me back down to reality. And no, actually, Chelsea have some interest in Alejandro Garnacho from Manchester United. Not just him, to be fair. Chelsea have made inquiries about Man United's Garnacho and Jamie Gittens of Borussia Dortmund as they consider options to bolster in the wide attacking areas. The 20-year-old wingers are among multiple candidates of interest to Chelsea as they explore potential signings. Conversations remain at an early stage, with Garnacho and Gittens fitting the profile the West London club are pondering to bolster head coach Enzo Maresca's squad. There is difference with these two players. Gittens more so, I think, positive in the sense that he's a name that has been about for a bit of time, and I know there's a little bit more excitement about him and how he could feature at Chelsea, particularly on the left side of attack. Of course, we've seen Matisse Tell linked over the past week that has to be factored into this conversation as well. Kvaratskhelia, I think, as well, from Napoli has been talked about as a potential exit this month from Serie A, and maybe Chelsea would be interested in that. Garnacho, I think, is different. He's still a young player, absolutely, and I'm always hesitant to write players off at a young age. It's foolish to do so. However, where I sit right now in Jan 2025, Garnacho is not in a great place, and I don't think is worth Chelsea touching with a barge pole. Just looking at his numbers, which, I've watched Garnacho, and I know based on discourse around him from Man United fans, some Man United fans I know personally who don't think he's that great anyway. This kind of sums it up. 3 goals already this season, which, again, in the context of why Chelsea players actually isn't that bad. I think that would make him second to Noni Madueke. However, there is a flag here that needs to be brought up. Only 1 assist, 11 starts, 20 matches played. This is in the Premier League for United, over 1,000 minutes as well. But then you look at some more in-depth stats that kind of break down how wasteful, maybe selfish he is. He's taken 46 shots. Only 20 of those have been on target, and he's only scored 3 goals. I wanted to compare that to another player we got from Man United in the summer, Jadon Sancho, who doesn't shoot a lot. He's only taken 14 shots this season. Only 4 of them have been on target, but he scored only 1 less than Garnacho. It's not only about goals, that's not the only thing, but I think Garnacho's decision-making, I'd advise you go back and watch Garnacho's performance against Chelsea back in October. He's had a lot of performances like it. Really poor decision-making, technically erratic, at times making the wrong choices when he could be making a smarter one, a more efficient one, putting United into some danger on transition on a number of occasions. And just to bring it all home over why Garnacho and even Gittens are not suitable, because they're not the priority this month. Everyone, I assume most people watching this and listening to this will agree that, especially now Chalobah has returned, the main priority for Chelsea in this transfer window is getting a striker. Tell you could kind of excuse or kind of make a justification for, because he could develop into a centre forward and can play off the flank, but also move centrally. But most people just want to see a centre forward because we failed to do it in the summer. And it's a key area, especially at this time of the season, that needs to be rectified. But again, we're going for young players we don't really need, especially Garnacho. I look at Tyreek George and I think with time and development and opportunity, why can't we just give those minutes to him? It's a complete waste spending what United would probably want for Garnacho, because they probably want some compensation for him, even though he's not at the highest peak currently. He's not, Ahmad, it feels like, has kind of taken him over recently as kind of one of those young, burgeoning, United attackers. However, it's a complete waste of money. It's a complete waste of resources. But then you get back to a fundamental question I had throughout the summer, which on the face of it seems ludicrous. What are our transfer dealings about? Are they about improving key areas of the squad? Are they about making us a fundamentally better football team? Or is it about, financial transactions that gets us around PSR that, suits the ego or the desires of our sporting directors? We spoke a lot about the sporting directors yesterday, but of course, this is about them as well and their failure to recruit seriously for Chelsea. And I think it says so much that the quote that comes out of Maresca's press conference pre-Wolves is, this window has been a disaster, or at least this period has been a disaster for Chelsea. He said, a disaster. It is normal we judge results and we are in a business where we all judge results. But if we judge the performances of the team, I'm happy because we play. On the pitch for sure, I would like to win more games, but I am okay. Off the pitch, it is a disaster because there are so many noises which I don't think help us, but I don't think they help any club. And I'm sympathetic to Maresca. I've heard that from someone else today, that it doesn't help the club. I agree. Who is making that noise? Do you think David Ornstein is just pulling Garnacho to Chelsea out of thin air? We're talking about David Ornstein here. We're not talking about some random guy making up quotes out of his bedroom. We're talking about someone who's one of the more serious reporters and credible reporters. The handling of the Trevor Chalobah situation. Who created that noise? You could have kept Trevor Chalobah in the summer. This noise never would have erupted and there wouldn't be a mass backlash against sporting directors. If you would have signed a serious centre forward in the summer, there wouldn't be this noise about Chelsea needing to sign a centre forward. Again, it's just logic. Who are making these noises and who is contributing mainly to the environment that is creating these headlines, creating this noise that Maresca doesn't like? I'm sure as a coach he doesn't like it, but I'm also sure as a coach, based on his actions of his squad, he wants better options. And I don't think Garnacho helps him. I don't. I think it gives him more clutter. I think it gives him another player that may fail to live up to the hype and is struggling at the moment, rather than someone who actually is going to make an effective difference to especially his attacking options. But that's not even factoring in what he said today regarding the injury news, which we're going to cover on Team Selector. But Palmer, Lavia once again, Enzo Fernandez, a number of players, doubts for Monday's game, which is really, really concerning, and especially in central midfield. Another thing I've spoken about for months, the lack of depth in that area. He doesn't want to play Kin in Dewsbury Hill. He didn't want to play Carney Chukwuemeka. I also think it's quite revealing what he said about Trev is that it was not I think he said it was not a technical decision, which kind of to me symbolises who's got the main power about player careers at Chelsea and kind of even influencing who plays and who doesn't. I think that this is not him confirming it. This is just my assumption is that was a sporting director choice. So maybe he wanted to play Chukwuemeka a little bit more, but he was told we don't have any plans for this player. So it kind of, again, it conflicts with, who's got the power, how does that unsettle maybe or make Maresca feel as a head coach? But, he's only been here a short period of time, but he signed up to this model and he maybe is paying the price already for it. So yeah, it's a really poor situation. I did just want to point out that Liam Toomey and Simon Johnson, they did this piece about Nkunku and Tell and how that deal could happen. I do think that Nkunku in a lot of ways is kind of the key to this window. I don't think Chelsea should wait for Christopher Nkunku's future to decide whether to actually improve their attack, but the way the club operates, it's the way they're working. I think Nkunku is going to be the difference maker here. I think if Chelsea sell Christopher Nkunku this month, if they make a deal happen for Bayern, which I still think is possible, then I think a door opens up for Chelsea to seriously sign a centre forward, I'd hope. I mean, these reports make you think that maybe that isn't the priority. And, I maybe it's my own mistake. I keep on coming at this with a football... It sounds silly, because it's dismissal, football fan being, really sentimental and emotional and being hyperbolic. No, I'm just, as a football analyst, as a football, as someone who thinks about football and thinks about transfers, surely the point is to make good transfers that improve your football team. Surely you'd use that money to then replace a player in the squad you've just lost, who provided a lot of goals for you in the first half of the season, with someone, comparable or more suitable for Enzo Maresca. And that probably should be Liam Delap. I've said before why I think his potential signing for Chelsea this year, calendar year that is, because it may be unlikely this month, makes a lot of sense. Garnacho doesn't. Even Gittens doesn't, to me, because, again, what is it's a small condensed period of time, the January transfer window. What do you actually need? Other than striker, they need to recall one of Andre Santos or Leslie Ugochukwu, who actually impressed at Old Trafford last night against Man United in a very, very bad Southampton side. They need midfield depth desperately. You cannot rely on Romeo Lavia. We've said that already this season. Enzo and Caicedo look knackered already. They need to find a solution there. And all of this combines to a thing that's just obvious. It's incompetent squad building. It's not bad luck. It's not noise that's being created by malicious actors. It's just incompetent squad building. And it concerns me when I hear us going for also two very different players, as someone pointed out to me on X, two very different players, Garnacho and Gittens, with two very different situations. So it doesn't even feel coherent in the sense of profiling. I want to hear your point of view in the comments as always. Do you disagree with me? Are you actually a fan of Garnacho and think actually Gittens, this is a really good signing? Or are you like me, baffled because the priority should be elsewhere? I want to hear your thoughts also on Maresca's quotes. We'll be back to preview Wolves on Monday, which is another huge game, and concerns over injury. We'll get into that in my team selector. Follow me across the socials at SonOfChelsea, and I will see you again very soon. All the best.